Okay, for today we'll be going through two things. We'll be going through first our situational writing, okay, as well as oral. Okay, so now, situational writing is a very huge component of the secondary school paper. Okay, for those of you who are in primary school, situational writing has now become out of 30 marks, right? Which is no longer what you get in primary 5 and primary 6, right? Sit writing is out of 30 marks, of which you get 10 marks for your content and 20 marks for your language thereabouts. It's usually marked on this scale. Okay, so let's have a look through at some tips that you can actually use to do your situational writing. Okay, read through the question. What type is it? What type of task is it? So you need to understand what type of task you are actually been told to do with when you look at your question paper. Okay, take note of who your audience, who your context, and what your tone is supposed to be. Okay, read through the situational context, the visual that you're given. Make notes of the answers to the bullet points, okay? Because you'll be given some questions or some bullet points that you have to take note of. Okay, plan your writing, and of course, wish you all the very best. Now, let's have a look at a sample that we're supposed to be doing, okay? Oh, it makes my face look so white. Okay, now, let me see if I can adjust it. No, not really. Okay, so what is the question that we've been given? Excuse me. Okay. It is almost the end of the school holidays and your aunt is buying you a backpack as a Christmas present. She's given you a choice of the 3 options sold by the discount bag store. Okay, so the options will be these 3, right? You have first the eco-friendly backpack, the woven backpack, as well as the ergonomic backpack, which is good for your back actually, right? Now, what is the requirement of the question? Write a letter to your aunt. Okay, so it is because it is to your aunt, so we know that it is informal. Okay, write a letter to your aunt thanking her for the offer, indicating which option you have chosen, explaining the reasons for your choice. So you have a reason for choosing something, right? So you explain the reasons for your choice and highlighting why the other options were not chosen. So remember, you need to make sure that your tone is actually a very respectful one that shows your gratitude for the gift. Okay, so remember students, these are the pointers that we have been told to do in terms of your for your bullet points. Okay, so can I have any of you wanting to, maybe you can share with me some of your thoughts with regards to all these bullet points that you have been given. Okay, what would you like to fill in with regards to this? Anybody wants to volunteer your answers? You want to share with me your thought? Okay, never mind. So basically, when you thank your aunt for the offer, right? Basically, obviously, you have to say, I'm very grateful for your offer to buy me a new backpack, etc. Right? Okay. That being said, in which choice have you chosen? Okay, let's say you choose the eco-friendly backpack, right? Okay, and of course, you give the reasons for your choice. So the reasons actually you can take from here. Right, students, read through your visual that you've been given. Okay, so in this case, if you've chosen the eco-friendly backpack, which is the first one, right? Okay, a functional bag with multi-compartments made from recycled plastic water bottles. It comes in an array of colors using non-toxic dyes. It has ergo-padded shoulder straps and a mesh bag. So basically, these are the reasons why you have picked this particular bag. Okay, now let's go through the reasons, right? Ergonomic features, but it's better for the environment. The dyes used in the manufacture of these bags are non-toxic, so this is something positive, right? And will not harm the environment or wildlife. There are different compartments for you to put your different things, right? So you can actually store quite a number of things. Okay, students? Now, the ergonomic backpack, on the other hand, is not an environmentally friendly product, so you compare this with something else. Okay, another choice that you could possibly have. All right, so let's look at a sample that I've actually given to you to consider. Okay, so we start with Dear Aunt Ellen, right? You always make sure you greet your aunt first. Okay, thank you for offering to buy me a backpack for Christmas. So remember, we said you need to thank her, right? Express your gratitude. Express gratitude. It is most opportune as I'm in need of a new bag for the new school year. So just nice, this is what you need. New school year. So this is what we call engagement. Okay, students? Now, you go on to elaborate on which of the bags you would pick, right? All three bags advertised by the discount bag store are unique in their own way. While I like the idea of the tribal craftsperson receiving 100% of the profit, so this one will be advantage, or rather, it's not only the advantage, but the good point. Okay, receiving 100% of the profit, I do not think that the tensile strength of the woven backpack will be strong enough to hold all that I need for school. Okay, so you point out what is not so good about it, the negative side of it. All right, it is perfect for the weekends, but I need a bag for school. So this is what you actually need. So it's going out versus what you need for school. Okay, it took me a while to decide. Now you have actually reached a decision, but you're explaining how you actually arrived at a decision, right? It took me a while to decide between the ergonomic backpack and the eco-friendly one. So what are you choosing? You're choosing between the ergonomic backpack and the eco-friendly one. These are the two choices that you had. After much thought, so you demonstrate that, I've actually thought of it quite a lot, right? I've thought about my decision quite a lot. After much thought, I have decided on the eco-friendly backpack, which also has ergonomic features. So this is something positive, right? But it's better for the environment, something positive. The ergonomic backpack, on the other hand, is not an environmentally friendly product, right? So this one is actually the negative. So you're explaining why you did not actually choose this in the end. Okay, now I like the fact that, so this is something positive and it sort of explains your choice, right, of why the eco-friendly backpack actually won the ergonomic backpack, right? I like the fact that the thousands of plastic water bottles that we throw out each year are recycled into eco-friendly backpacks instead of polluting the earth, right? Okay, so it's actually doing some advantage to the environment, which explains your choice. Okay, I support companies which have environmentally friendly practices. The dyes used in the manufacture of these bags are non-toxic and will not harm the environment or wildlife. Okay, so basically this is the advantage to the environment by, to the environment and animals. Okay, students, so they tell you what the benefit is. Okay, so now you share. Okay, by choosing this choice, how does it help? Not only you, but the other factors as well, right? So the different compartments within the bag. So this is the part on the compartments. You have many compartments because maybe you've got many things to carry, right? The different compartments within the bag will help me to organize my school books and paraphernalia so that I'm able to locate items easily. Paraphernalia is basically miscellaneous items, right? Because my school bag is usually a jumbled mess of things. So you're actually expressing how useful the compartments are. Okay, as I walk to and from school in Singapore's hot and humid weather, so this is from the condition that you're actually used to, right? Okay, the ergo padded shoulder straps and mesh backing will make my journey much more comfortable. So you actually feel very comfortable even when you are in the hot and humid weather. All right, now, thank you. So you've actually summarized, right, all the benefits of the bag that you have, right? So you thank her once again, you express your gratitude. Oopsie. Express your gratitude. Right, so thank you once again for the thoughtful present. I look forward to starting the school year with a bag that is good for me and the environment. So not just for me, but also the environment. Let's catch up soon when your schedule permits. Take care, see you soon. So this is basically how you can end off. All right, students. Now, let's go through a couple of vocabulary because it's a bit challenging, right? Now we've got tensile strength, which means the ability to be stretched. So when you're saying something about tensile strength, you can say that the school bag has a lot of tensile strength, right? It can stretch quite a lot because maybe you've got lots of things. Okay, paraphernalia, basically miscellaneous items. I've gone through that with you. Schedule permits as long as your time allows it, because maybe your auntie is very busy. Okay, students, with that being said, this is a sample of how you can actually do your situational writing. I'm not going to go for the break because I think we've actually, it's actually been a very short period of time in the lesson. Okay, so what I'd like to do is just go through with you some oral reading tips, right? And I'm going to ask volunteers to actually read aloud to me, okay, so we can practice how it's going to be. Okay, now first have a quick glance over the passage, right? Try to spot any words that you know you may have some difficulties pronouncing. Go back to the start of the passage and read these words aloud, okay? Pay attention to the audience, okay, the tone and the context of the passage. So especially when they give you the context, right, make sure that you're actually aware of whom you're addressing and for what you're addressing, the purpose. Okay, and of course, take note of where to pause, intonate, and the word consonants, you know, the end syllables. All right, that being said, okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I'm going to get 5 students to volunteer for me. Would anybody be interested to volunteer? Okay, let's get Charmaine. Oopsie. Oh, no. Okay, Charmaine. Okay, let's get, wait, hang on, let me see. Okay, so Natalie will be here. Okay, we'll get Victoria, which is from here until here. Anybody else would like to volunteer for me? It's a time to practice your oral. We've got 2 more paragraphs, the beige and the blue. Okay, we'll get Azza. Very good. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Okay, over here. So you read for me here and until here, okay? One more student, Nicole. Okay. Nicole Chua. So it's from here until here. Okay, thank you so much. I realize they're all mainly ladies. Okay, now let me just read for you the context and then we'll start practicing. Okay, so your youth group leader has asked the members to suggest to the group the best ways to spend the long vacation. You decide to talk about doing things with your family. Okay, so it's like sort of like in a group sort of context, right? And this is what you say. Okay, so Charmaine, are we ready, sweetie? Let's go.
As we go through our teenage years, there are more and more reasons why we may find it difficult to find time to spend with our families. School, co-curricular activities, youth clubs, and homework all keep us busy.
Thank you, sweetie. Okay, I like how you read it. Your pace was very confident. You were very reassured, rather, right? Okay, and I like how you pronounce all the end consonants. Difficult. Your T was very obvious. Your S was very obvious. Clubs, right? Okay, but I just like to highlight something over here because as we go, just now when we were reading, right? Perhaps we were very enthusiastic, so the TH became true. Okay, I heard a true. As we go through, right? You know the your sound will always be there. Okay, students, remember that teachers love to test you on the TH sound, even though they themselves make mistakes when they're pronouncing it. Okay, but just remember that as we go through, we need to have our TH sound over there. Okay, Charmaine, otherwise, very good effort.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sweetheart. All right, now Natalie, where are you, sweetie? Okay, let's go.
It's not just teenagers who feel under pressure. Our parents often do too. Working long hours to provide for us, or cooking, cleaning, and preparing for the next day. With so much going on, there seem to be fewer opportunities for everyone to sit down and have a worthwhile conversation during term time. Even weekends often don't seem long enough.
Thank you, sweetheart. Okay, so I realized that for this particular paragraph, you've got a long sentence over there, right? So either number one, you cannot breathe because you were reading too fast, or you become engaged with the text, right? So I sense that because it's very long, so you grow slightly like a bit distracted, okay? But I might be wrong, okay? But that being said, how do we improve on this? Because I think other than that long sentence that I've actually marked out, your reading was actually okay. Okay, but what we can do is we can sort of practice a little bit more when we're given the text so that we are more familiar with the text. Okay, secondly, when we have a long sentence, it's very hard to keep our focus there, right? So what we can do is we can put in the pauses. Okay, so for example, with so much going on, there seem to be fewer opportunities for everyone to sit down and have a worthwhile conversation during term time. So you realize that actually I put a pause over here and I slowed down this a little bit. Right, so by adjusting my speed, by slowing down, by pausing, right, I actually improve on how I'm engaging with the text, so it becomes a little bit more interesting. Okay, other than that, your pronunciation was actually okay, right, because you read at quite a comfortable pace, but just be careful, be more familiar with the text. Okay, Natalie? Good job. All right, now Victoria, where are you, sweetheart? Okay, Victoria. Okay.
This is what one psychologist says about the importance of taking vacations with the family. Vacations have the potential to break up busy periods by giving us time for relaxation with our families and a much needed break from everyday routines. We gain perspective on our lives and we emerge from a vacation feeling ready to take on the work again.
Thank you, sweetie. That's very good. Okay, I just like to highlight certain things. Okay, so your pace was okay, your intonation was okay, it was very clear. Okay, but I think the last sentence was a bit long, so it's a bit tricky, right? So we gain perspective on our lives and emerge from a vacation feeling ready to take on the world. Remember your LD, yeah? Because when I heard this, I keep, for students, not only you, sweetie, but in general, right? I keep on hearing world. It's like your L disappears. So the L syllable must be very clearly pronounced, right? So it's practice it, students, world, right? You can hear the L very clearly. So just take note of this, okay? Other than that, was pretty well done. Okay, Victoria,
Thank you.
good job. You're welcome. Okay, Azza, where are you, sweetheart? Okay, come, Azza.
Whether you go away or stay at home, you should really focus on making the most of your next family vacation. Why not think about doing things together that you wouldn't normally do? It isn't necessary to go somewhere far away or very different and exciting. You could just take a bus tour or go for a walk around your own neighborhood.
Okay, thank you, Azza. I think you're Filipino, right?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Actually, for that attempt, I think it's very good. So why I circled the TH is because I could hear it very clearly. You actually pronounce it very clearly, and I'm very happy because it's something that many students try, but they tend to forget. So I think that it's very good. But just take notes, sweetheart, because I realized that maybe when you were practicing, maybe you were not so familiar with the words, right? So you realize that you stumble over certain words, and maybe you add in certain words. So how we can avoid doing this, right, is basically being more familiar. So you practice until you're very sure of the words that flow from one to the other. So we can avoid, inserting unnecessary words or pronouncing wrongly. You get what I mean?
Thank you.
Okay, so Aisha, I think it's a pretty good job. Just that I need you to be a little bit more familiar with the text. Okay? Now, thank you, Sidi. Now, Nicole, where are you? Okay, Nicole, come, let's go.
Everyone in the family will gain something from a shared vacation. Shared memories and experiences, or learning to do something new together, help to develop stronger bonds between family members. Years from now, you can look at the photos of family vacations and relive the happy memories together. You might even try to recreate them with your children one day.
Okay, thank you so much, Nicole. Now, I really like how you read it, but I think what could help you is not really reading so much of the same passage again, but you need to have more confidence in yourself. Okay, you actually were able to read the sentence without any issue. But I think because you stumbled in the beginning, it affected how you read further on. So if you really make a mistake, all of you listen up, okay? If you really make a mistake, right, just go back, restart the sentence, but be confident. Don't let that little one hiccup affect how you read the rest of the sentence, because then you realize that you actually stumble again, and then you will, it's like a domino effect, right? You stumble and then you feel unsure of yourself, and then you keep stumbling, sort of, right? So just gain momentum, go back, right? Go back, just say oops, and then just go back, right? Reread the sentence properly once clearly and make sure that you gain your confidence. Don't lose it just because of a mistake. Okay, even newscasters, when they're reading, okay, believe me, when they are reading, they make mistake, they oops, and then they go back and finish it off properly. Okay, so these are very real situations that we face. So I don't want you to, because of a silly or slight hiccup, affect your entire thing, because it's not going to be good for you in the end. So I'm just trying to help you to move on quickly from any mistake that you might have made. Okay, students, but other than that, good job, all of you who volunteered your options. Okay, so volunteered a reading. I'm sure you've actually, heard from each other and picked out the good stuff from each other. Okay, that being said, let's go through the spoken interaction now. Okay, just a structure that I'd like you to take note of. All right, your peel format, which I'm sure many of you who are in secondary school are familiar with. Okay, so of course, when I ask you a question, you give me your point. Okay, you explain your point, right? So for example, your reason, why do you like, okay, so what's your favorite food? My favorite food is chicken rice, right? So I have to explain why I like chicken rice. I like the rice because it's soft. I like the chicken because it's tender. And maybe I like the soup because it's fragrant, for example. So this is explaining, right? And then you give an example of when maybe you had chicken rice, right? The first time you had chicken rice, for example. So first time I had chicken rice was, when I was 6 years old, then I had teeth finally, and I didn't have to rely on my mom mashing my food. So it's like baby food, right? Yeah, so I went to maybe, for example, I went to Newton Hawker Center, right, to have it's really expensive, by the way. Newton Hawker Center to have chicken rice. Like, why, right? Okay, and I remember that was such a memorable activity, because firstly, it was so hot, right? I was very uncomfortable, but the food was so yummy. So I wanted to leave, but I wanted to keep eating as well. So definitely remember. So this is sort of like an example of a time when you actually went to eat chicken rice. Okay, so this is an example that you're giving. And of course, it links back to the question, right? So that being said, this is why I enjoy eating chicken rice, because I enjoy the dish, even though the ambience or the environment may not be so pleasant, for example. Okay, students, so that being said, we'll go on to the questions that we have for today, right? So who do you think are the people in the picture? How do they look? All right. Have you ever gone traveling on your own before? And in recent times, it is very difficult. It is true, students, in COVID, right? Who can think of when's the next available flight is going to be for a leisure travel, right? Not business, but for leisure, right? So when can we actually start traveling again? Where is the first place you'd like to go? Okay, so that before I even share my answers, right, students, anybody wants to volunteer any of the answers, you just want to share your thoughts about any of these questions, just raise your hand and we can just discuss it first. If there's nobody, then I will go through my answers. Nobody? Okay, then I'll just go through my answers, okay? So in the peel format, right? Okay, so who do you think are these people? Basically, I think that the people in the picture are teenagers, judging from their attire and sitting positions. They're very slack, very relaxed, right? Possibly it's during a term break when they're in university or something, and then they're just taking a break and just chilling out by the Sydney Harbour. This is actually in Sydney. Okay, so they look like they're on holidays, right? With how they're enjoying their time by the water. Okay, so then you give me an example, okay, or you share a little bit more, right? So I wish that I could be in their positions now. With the coronavirus going on, we are not allowed to venture out of our homes, okay? And that makes going anywhere impossible. I really wish for the day that all these quarantine measures will be lifted so that we can resume to life pre-COVID. In fact, students, to be honest, I've actually forgotten how it is to actually live. Because the human memory stores things that are very short-lived. Right, so as we all know, it takes 21 days for us to form a habit, and it is well past 21 days right now. It's like we've gone through easily about 2 months, right, of the circuit breaker, so that's a good about 60 days. So if 21 days are required to make a habit, we've already made 2 cycles of habits happen, so it's very difficult to break out of it, right? So that being said, I can understand if some of you went back to school today and you're feeling really tired. I can understand, because we've always been chilling out at home for the longest time, right? So it's not easy to break out of that. Okay, now these people are definitely teenagers who are enjoying their time in the open space by the water. So I sort of link it back to the question itself. All right, now Second question, so have you ever gone traveling on your own before? Now, for students who are, actually, I don't think many of you would have gone traveling on your own before, right? Because maybe you either go with family, direct family, or maybe sometimes older friends, if you do have any, or cousins, etc. Right? But for me, I've gone traveling on my own before, right? Obviously, because I'm like double most of your ages. Okay. That being said, right, let me share with you about my trip. Okay, so I explained it was a trip to Phuket. I just went actually last year. Okay, I went over the Diwali period actually, right? I did things where I enjoyed, because, well, okay, when I were to go with my friends, which I had before, right? It's always activity, 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 because nobody wants to travel and do nothing. It's just a waste of money, basically, right? But for me, I like to chill out, right? Because, I mean, as a teacher in Singapore, it is very hectic, and I just wanted to go somewhere and do nothing, really. It's just sleep. People think I'm wasting money, but in Singapore, when you're at home, when you have the laptop in front of you, it's honestly really very difficult to just chill out, right? And that time, actually, when I went overseas, I wanted to work, right? But for some reason, my internet connection was not working in the room. Okay, so I had Wi-Fi problems. I couldn't connect to my email. I couldn't read anything. Honestly, it was the sheer recipe for just a complete work-free trip. Okay, to be very honest. Okay, so I did things that I enjoyed while I was there, right? Eat, sleep, massage, gym, suntan, repeat. So basically, I like sports. I like to go to the gym. So an ideal holiday would just be sleep, gym, eat, suntan, repeat. Sleep, gym, eat, suntan. It's just this. Very lazy, right? So that was truly the life, okay? So if I could, I would love to go traveling again. However, sometimes, because I mean, you don't exactly keep wanting to go to another country to sleep. I mean, it's a bit silly, in my opinion. It is, actually, right? But I like to go with some friends, right? It can be quite scary to go traveling alone. It is, students, especially if it's like a less developed country, right? You know, you can't speak the language. You know, people are, you don't know whether or not you can trust people. So there is that communication barrier, firstly, right? Okay. Especially if you're not familiar with the country that you're going to. That being said, right, if you travel alone, it can actually be quite expensive. So actually, when I go travel, right, I usually pick places that the currency, Singapore's currency, is actually much stronger, like Phuket, you know, Thailand, Indonesia, because when you change, right, it's not so expensive. Like a hotel room can be like maybe $100 a night, right? Singapore dollars, and maybe you convert, like, basically. But if you go to like maybe Australia, it could be $500-600. So that is the difference, right? Okay, I cannot wait for airports to open again, so I'm expressing my hope, right? And for traveling to be made available so that we can all get on with our lives instead of remaining at home due to COVID. I just think it's so funny that one virus itself can just lock all of us up like animals. It's quite funny if you think about it. It's like it takes a virus to make all of us grow closer with our families. I just think it is so ironic, don't you think so? Ironic means it's like opposite of what it actually is for, right? Okay, now in recent times, it is difficult to imagine traveling again. So where is the first place you like to go? Okay, so for me, because I'm such a bum, right, I'd like to go to Maldives. I really just want to go to a beach now, because I feel that, you know, being locked up indoors, okay, you see my color, right, students? I'm actually not so fair, right? I've got mixed blood in me, so I'm actually brown by natural form, right? But now I feel that I'm so fair. It's really terrible. It's like I take a selfie, right? I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't even need whitening products. The cure is COVID. Okay, so it's really very, very unlike me to be very fair, right? Okay, so I actually like to go to Maldives, right? Maldives. The sun, the sea, the wonderful, gorgeous beach. I really just want to just camp and do sports, right? So I would love to go there and just have a relaxing time. I think that's what all of us really need at this point. You know, we're just seeing too much of computer, staying too indoors. It's really very difficult to imagine life outside right now. Okay. I've always loved traveling to beaches and spending time at resorts. As life in Singapore can be quite hectic, I really treasure these holidays. So I'm giving an explanation, right? I'm giving the reason when I can do absolutely nothing and have massages after massages. So to share with you a little bit more about my Phuket trip. So I booked a massage package, right? So it was really awesome because it was supposed to be for 2 people, right? But because I was the only one who went, right? So I had 2 hours of massage each day. One that was super shook, right? You know, in Singapore, in English, it's very shook. I miss it. Okay, anyway, I have always wanted to visit Maldives. Actually, I have, right, since the longest time, actually, because I love the idea of traveling to a resort that's located. It's very unique in the sense that it's in the middle of nowhere. So when it's in the middle of nowhere, you just travel there and you just do nothing but just basically suntan, sleep. But it's a bit challenging to find a gym in a resort, so that could be quite difficult, right? So that's located in the middle of the ocean and spending time there. even though there's a high chance that there may not be any gyms there, which is true, right? Okay, I think I'll have enough home workouts accumulated because now, you know, in Singapore, right, our gyms are all closed, right? So I've resorted to home workouts. I've downloaded home quarantine programs, you know, and workouts to actually do the workout at home because I can't just sit still, right? It's just not in my blood. Okay, accumulated from COVID-19 to be able to work out in the room, right? So I've learned that you can actually do this, okay? So Maldives, that's where I like to go to the moment airports actually reopen. That is a place that I like to go to. Okay, students, so I'm not sure where you like to go to. I cannot hear from any of you. Okay, but that being said, I'm sure you like to go to some place that you enjoy, maybe shopping, you know, maybe the sun, etc. Okay, now I've actually come to the end of my lesson because I was hoping for some interaction, but because there's none, the lesson is actually very quickly over. Okay, that being said, I know all of you are tired. Thank you for putting up and listening to me. Okay, and my rant over traveling. All right, but let me just give you a quote that I think is very apt. Okay, take only memories, leave only footprints. So when you travel in future, students, okay, remember, okay, carry all the memories that you have in your heart, not in the camera photographs, right? You can take some photographs, but remember, at the end of the day, it's all going to be captured up here in your mind and in your heart, right? Okay, so I don't know how many of you actually saw the double rainbow yesterday. The sky was absolutely gorgeous. Go to Instagram, you know, go and Google double rainbows. I think you'll be able to find that actually. So it was very beautiful, and it's something that I've captured in my mind, not in my phone actually, right? Because it's so precious. Okay, and leave only footprints. So put your footprints behind and move on. The moment you travel, you know, that's how you explore the world. Okay, that being said, any of you got any questions, just drop me a text. Okay, if not, have a good week ahead. Yes, yeah, lesson is over in 33 minutes actually, which is really quick. Okay, have a good dinner, have a good week ahead, stay safe, and hopefully I'll see you again next week. Okay, take care of yourselves. Bye.